Hi guys, this is Tracy DeMario, Superstar Director for the Scented Bliss family. And I thought I would hop on here today and just share some systems that I have in place that I feel like all consultants, regardless of whether you're brand new or you've been around a while, some of these might be helpful. If you already have some great systems in place, fantastic. If you don't, then this might help, because the sooner you can put systems in place and be ready and prepared, you're going to find it to be way easier to work your business. So personally, I find that I'm on the go a lot, so I'm very dependent on having information in my phone to be able to work my business regardless of where I'm at. And one of the things that I do, as a director or above, you get an email every time you have a new person join your team. So whenever that happens, I add them into my phone. Now, if you're not a director yet, anytime someone in your downline sponsors someone, or you do, I would highly recommend you putting them in your phone just to make it really easy for when you need to do connection, or should they call you, that way, you've got it all under control. When I save the contact, under first name, I always put CONS, abbreviation for consultant. I put it in all caps, CONS, and then their first and their last name. So that's just something I do. It makes it really easy. If I ever need to do a search, I can just type in CONS and find out who all the consultants in my phone are. Another thing that I like to do is similar to this is with my customers. So if I have a customer that contacts me that I met at a party, or maybe I met at an event or whatever, however, I like to save them in my contacts using CUST for customer, CUST, and then their name. You can do the same thing with your hosts, so HOST, and then your host name, and join, JOIN, and your join prospects names as well. That way, if you have it in your phone and all of a sudden you realize we're having a join promo, you can quickly just search in your phone contacts, JOIN, and all of those contacts, anybody you've ever talked to about joining will be there, and you can send them the new promo. So I found that to be very helpful. Something I also do for my customers, as well as any of my leads, like the join or host and such, I like to put where the company field is. I'll put where I met them. So for example, I might put Just for Her in 2020. So I know I met her at the Just for Her in 2020. Same with my customers. I might put Downtown Days. Sometimes I'll put LS, which means they live in Lee Summit. So if I'm going to be if I want to do a promo for my local customers and do porch drops, I can just do a search in my phone for LS and anyone in Lee Summit, since that's where I want to do porch drops for, and send them a quick personal special text message. So that's just some things that I found to be very helpful. Another thing that I have ongoing on my phone is what I call an ISO list. So again, whether I'm talking to a regular customer, someone that I've just met at a party or somewhere, it's very, very common for them to ask me for things that either I don't have, they existed at one point, maybe they've never existed. For example, I have a gal who loves scarecrows. She collects everything scarecrows. So if and when we ever get anything related to or close to a scarecrow, I want to be sure to contact her. So I have a note that literally says ISO product, and then I include their name, their phone number, the name of the product that they're looking for, and I also put their location too, just because that's helpful for me. So that's what I do. This comes in really helpful also for Bring Back My Bar Time. So for example, I have a very long list of people that have said, if Hemingway ever comes back, or World Traveler ever comes back, or Cashmere ever comes back, I have them in my list, and I can easily contact them and say, you're in luck. How many 6-packs can I order for you? And of course, I'm also going to be telling them about Scentsy Club, because I know if they love it, and they can only order it in the month of June, which is our upcoming Bring Back My Bar campaign, I want to be telling them about Scentsy Club so they can build a subscription so they can have it forever, since we know they love it. So that's just something that I do, and it's been really helpful for me to build my customer base. People are always so impressed and happy that I remembered them, and then I contacted them. I did my follow-up. I did my homework. So again, if you've had people that have said, oh, if you ever get a Chiefs warmer, or you ever get anything snowman, I love snowmen, or anything, you need to be documenting that so that you're ready to get back in touch with them if and when we have something that they would like. The other thing I use, I do for my notes, the note section on my phone is huge for me. Again, I'm on the go more than I'm home, so this is a big thing for me, is I have a monthly order list note. So for example, for the month of April, I had a note that was just called April Orders. And anytime someone messaged me like, hey, I want the April warmer of the month, I want a 6-pack of Be Fabulous, anything, the Cinderella, when I was doing my pre-orders for Cinderella, I would make a note of anybody who I needed to order things for April. That way it was super easy. I had it there, easy to reference and such. So for example, I already have one for May, and I already have one going for June, because I have a couple of people that didn't get in on the pre-order for the Baby Yoda, or the child, I should say, the Child Buddy. So if and when there's more available, I want to let them know ASAP so that they can get the Child Buddy. The other thing is Bring Back My Bar. I'm already collecting orders for Bring Back My Bar. I just took one today for a 6-pack of Hemingway, a 6-pack of Cashmere. I've got 2 other orders that customers have already given me. So I have it all right there. All lined up, so I'm ready to go. Come May 31st, I'll be in, usually probably 2 or 3 days before, I send out invoices for anything I need to collect funds for. That way, on the 1st, I'm ready to place their order. So I hope that's helpful. Something else that I do in the notes section, and again, maybe some of you guys already do this, but I commonly will be asking out on social media and or when I'm out and about places, people will tell me they were a consultant once before, or I ask, if you've ever been a Scentsy consultant in the past, would you like to come back on my team? And I commonly will get a lot of responses, and I have a pre-typed up response that I can then send. So I can go to the notes section, and I can just copy and paste. It's my reinstatement response that I can copy and paste and send to them, that gives them instructions on how they can self-serve reinstate, if they know their ID and password, if they don't know what to do. It has all of my contact information on it so that they can come under me if they would like to and they weren't before. So it's super simple. It saves me time. It's all done. Another one that I have, a long list of join conversations, just of sample posts that I have made regarding joining the business, different opportunity posts. So I keep them all on my phone so I can easily just copy and paste and post them out on social media. I did share a bunch of these recently. They're in the file section, I believe, or they're either there, or I might have them in the units called sponsoring. So I recently just uploaded a bunch of samples that you guys can use and just kind of tweak them, change them up to make them your own. But it makes it really handy to have all of this stuff right there with you at all times. And another one that I have too, especially now, my gosh, there's so many people that are sponsoring people for the first time, is I like to send a message telling them, like a new consultant, a new sponsor post that tells them basically now that they have sponsored the first team member, kind of what to do next, what the new consultant gets, that sort of thing. So that's just some examples. I have thousands of notes, needless to say, but just I wanted to give you guys some ideas on how you can be utilizing those things in your phone to make it easier to run your business. A couple of other things I just thought that I would mention is mailing. I do customer thank yous. So regardless of what somebody orders from me, I always send them a thank you. Sometimes it's just a postcard depending on what they order. Most of the time it's a showcase brochure, and I attach a postcard that I sticker on there, and it basically talks about the reasons why they should consider becoming a consultant. I always include like a scent circle, sometimes a car bar if I get some on maybe a flash sale or really inexpensive. Sometimes I include like a sample of washer whiffs or our laundry, just whatever I might have on hand. I usually include that too, as well as a warmer of the month flyer and any other promotions that we might have going on. And I do have some copies and some samples of some of the things that I do send in an album that I just recently created called SSD Share, so you can get some ideas from that too. And if you can have your customer packets already made up, it's going to make it that much quicker. You can just grab them and go. Sample center. So I have a whole sample center over here where I keep my wax samples. I have my counter clean samples. I have Scentsy soak samples at the moment, and I have laundry samples at the moment. So those are the ones I already have made up, and I have them all set up in little bags so I can just grab them and either mail them or drop them in customer orders. But it's really important that you guys are recording the samples that you're sending out. You know, it doesn't do you a lot of good to hand out a lot of samples if you don't do the follow-up. to see, did they like it? Did they not like it? Did they want to order it and mean to order it and just didn't have time? Whatever might be coming about. So I highly recommend, I personally use Amy, the Amy app, AMI. You can record your samples, and that way I set it up with a follow-up. So in 4 days, it will remind me, say, hey, you sent us, check back in with Susie Smith. You sent her a sample, and it says what I sent her, you know, coconut lemongrass, Scentsy Clean, whatever, counter clean. And that way I know I can then follow up with her to see if it's something that she liked or what her feedback was. And so that's just something that I highly recommend too. And then last but certainly not least, because there's a lot of things, of course, you guys could be doing, but again, this is just going to help you be more efficient. I highly recommend you making up packets for host, join, and fundraisers, and making sure you have them on you. We've talked about a mobile office before. If you're not familiar with what is a mobile office, simply search it in our group and it will pull up, as well as on our YouTube channel as well. So that way you guys can check that out, but keep them with you. Having host packets, join packets, or some people call them possibility packets, info packets, whatever you want to call them, and fundraiser packets is going to save you time. It's going to keep you efficient, and there's nothing better than right then and there having it, bam, to be ready. Just make sure if you're handing out any packets of any kind that you always get customer contact information. We don't want to give anything out unless we get their contact information so we can do our job as a consultant and follow up. So I hope this is helpful. I hope you guys will get some systems in place and carry on with your business.